Good evening everyone, and welcome to rounds 5 and 6 of the Flat Out E-Racing V8 Championship. We find ourselves at the halfway point of the championship. We've just got 2 more venues after this. We've got Bathurst next week and then Barcelona the following week. We're looking forward tonight to 2 races. Qualifying, as you can see, is now live for the first race, and race 2 will be the result of race 1 reverse. So we'll get some of those fast guys at the back, and hopefully we'll get to see some action of them pushing their way through the field. Just give you a quick resume of where we are at the moment with the championship. So far, it's all been going the way of the Greeks. Leading the championship at the moment with 100 points. He's been perfect in every round, is HKRT Kevin. He's been absolutely flying. Whether he started at the front of the grid or the back of the grid, he's won the race. So last week we were joined by a compatriot of him, who I'm whizzing down, Sturpan, who jumped immediately, having missed the first round, to 5th in the championship. So it'll be interesting to see if he can continue. And this week we also have HKRT Timorous, so he's also from Greece, so I imagine we're going to see some action from him as well, if the guys from Greece are something to go by. We've only got a 5-minute qualifying, so we'll jump in to see where people's times are coming together, because they're just starting to complete the lap. And the first one is R80, which is John Riley, who's the guy that organises this championship. So he's just coming up to come round the last corner of the Coca-Cola curve onto the main straight, and we'll put down the benchmark lap time. We've still got a minute remaining, so they're probably going to get 2 laps in. So 1:59.02 there. So let's see what else we're going to get put in the bag. And Timorous has gone a little bit faster, and so is Swede Roger. So let's see who's next through. Noddy's mate into 2nd place. He was worried in the chat before that he was off the pace, but no, he's certainly up there. A little bit off the speed of the Greeks, who seem to be locking out the front row. And just as I say that, Select, who I think that red and white flag is from Poland, but I'll just have to double check that one, has come through into 3rd. Swede Roger's been put down to 6th. And R80 John Riley, who's set the first lap time, has already been shuffled down to 7th place. So they're off round on their 2nd lap. We've just got 10 seconds remaining. So we will just get the screen data up for you there. We'll follow Noddy's mate round, see how he's getting on. Seems to be a little bundle of cars up at the just coming out of the stadium area at the beginning of the track. There's Hulky 87. Let's just see how he's getting on. He's been competing in the first 4 rounds that we've had. Unfortunately, not quite been on the pace of the others at some, but has been able to pick some points up. I'll just have a look to see where Hulky is in the championship at the moment. He is currently sat 13, so he's still in there with a shout, getting up there into the top 10. So we'll just see who's above and below him at the moment. So just in front of him was Cajun 100. He's been reasonably competitive midfield so far. And that is Kevin Nunn. So we'll see how he gets on. Nice DeWalt livery there. These are all Mustang cars. They're all V8 engined. And the idea is this is a bit of a homage to the Aussie V8. So that's where the liveries, I know these guys spend a lot of time working on, have put them together to see. Oh, and just I mentioned where Hulky was having a little bit of a challenge, unfortunately he's had a bit of a spin there. So we'll just see, the qualifying is finished, so Kevin is still in pole, Sturpan's still in 2nd. Has anybody put a faster time in? Interestingly there, R80 John Riley has gone for the racing soft. So let's see what other people are doing. Swede Roger, he's also on the racing soft, as so is Noddy's mate. Where's Noddy mate? He's up in 5th. So Timorous, despite being part of the Greek team that's joined us, he is a little bit off the pace there, about 3 seconds. So it's definitely with Kevin 77 and Sturpan. Interesting, these guys, despite being as quick as they are, They're incredibly frugal on fuel as well. Oh, we're just waiting for Hulky to come across the finishing line, and then we'll be on for the start of the race. So the first race will be 15 minutes. There's no obligatory pit stops. So it's literally down to tyre wear, depending on the tyres they've chosen, whether they wear through them. Fuel should be okay. Definitely those front guys, the Kevin and Sturpan, I think we'll see them going through to the end, because somehow they always seem to be able to draw out that field. But interesting, you see that pack through 3rd to 6th is very tight, so hopefully we're going to see some quite competitive racing there. So we've got a rolling start for the first race, and remember the result of this first race is will be reversed for the grid for the second race. So here we go. Eyes up, ladies and gentlemen, we're in for a good race here. And we're off. So I think these two guys at the front, Sturpan and Kevin 77, will... Oh, and in the background there, Hulky's getting a little bit loose. I think that was in the background. I think we'll see these two in the front make a bit of a break for it, because they've definitely got pace over the others. But it'll be interesting to see. I think we're going to end up concentrating on the midfield pack. So we'll drop down to new driver Timorous, who's joined us this week. So he's chasing down Select there with the Penrite livery car. So we'll have a look back. There seems to be quite a little bit of action there. Noodlester's working there on Swede Roger. Heading out of that stadium section down towards the Valvoline curve. Around this 3rd gear left-hander, then in the 2nd gear right-hander, and then flat on the throttle down the hill. Oh, getting a bit loose there, Noodlester. Showing his nose down the inside of Roger. Has he got the move, mate? No. Is he going to make a lunge at the hairpin? No to that one as well. So round the hairpin and back up the hill. We'll keep an eye on what action is happening elsewhere in the field. They all seem to be fairly settled. Rolling start tends to keep these guys at a fairly even spacing to start with, and probably once we get this first lap out of the way, we will suddenly see the pack in certain areas starting to tighten up. We'll just jump up the front to see how Kevin and Sturpan are getting on. So gap wise, they've already pulled 2 seconds on Select. So, and for what we've seen before, Kevin just does seem to have the pace on Sturpan. That last week at Interlagos, Sturpan did give him a hard time a couple of times, but overall Kevin shook out as the winner. So coming around to complete lap 1, Sturpan crosses the line. Kevin crosses the line first, Sturpan second. So let's just move down into this middle pack, see what action we can find. I think it's going to be down another car there with Swede Roger. This little pack of 4 cars here. Here we go. Noodlester's going for the inside into that tight right-hander. He looks like he's got a bit long on the brakes. He pushes Roger a little bit wide there, but all for pretty clean. But Roger's coming back up the inside. He's got his wheels over the curb. Yes, has he got the move done? He's got him back. Great racing by the pair of them. Gave each other space. Fantastic. Now it's this really tight little left-hander that can catch you out if you leave your braking a little bit late. And Roger's pulled a little bit of a gap there. Oh, someone by the look of it picked up a penalty there. I couldn't quite see who it was. Oh, it was Noodlester. Must have taken a little bit of a shortcut there. Now, no shortcuts warnings are on the lighter side, but what happens with the penalties in, he will need to lose that penalty before the end of the lap, and in fact he's done it already, so he's lost it on the way down to the hairpin. So unfortunately that's broken. It looks like he did a little bit of a cut across the glass, so which caused him to have that penalty. So unfortunately that's broken that little group up for us that was hopefully coming together. So we'll just shoot back to see who else is working away down there. There's John Riley, he's in 9th. Okay, so he's working his way around the track in 9th, just ahead there of Hulky. Oh, that squealing suggested there was quite a bit of understeer in the car there for Hulky, and as he clipped the gravel on the exit, that reinforced my thought. But he's sticking with the series and picking up points, and for 10th place he'll still pick up 6 points. So it's worth him sort of keeping in there. So we'll move back up to Noodlester. He's shaken off that penalty, and he's now on the back of Cajun 100. So it looks like he's got into the slipstream now, and he looks pretty close. So is he going to... He made that move last lap. He's looking at the inside. Can he make it stick this time? It didn't work on Swede Roger. No, hasn't quite got it on the brakes. Has Cajun got it turned? Yes, he has. Can he do it on the cutback when we go around the left-hander? No, it looks like he's lost a little bit of time in that attempt at the first corner, and unfortunately Cajun has pulled a little bit of a gap on him, so we're not going to get any action there. We're heading down to 10 minutes remaining, so it's a third of the race gone. They've got enough fuel for about 8 laps, so I did a quick calculation in my head. Oh, Cajun's defending. Noodles is going around the outside. Fantastic manoeuvre. Gives him the inside for the next corner. And Cajun's trying to do the cutback. Can he get back at him as we head down the hill to the hairpin? He's tucking his way up behind the other Mustang. Can he lunge it? No. It looks like Noodles has got that manoeuvre done. Nice job there. On to Swede Roger next. But just going back to what I was saying about fuel, just quickly looking down my numbers, I think, yeah, they should be able to make it just. And if we look back up the front, our benchmark on this is the 2 leaders, and Kevin drives like he's paying for the petrol. So he's still got over 3/4 of a tank left, and we're over a third of the way into the race. So these guys are going to be absolutely fine, and he's got the racing softs on there, which he's not really eaten in too much so far. And Sturpan's used a little bit more fuel, but I think he should be okay. So let's just shoot back another couple. So Timorous has been chasing Sleck since the start of the race. Hasn't really made any inroads to him as yet. That gap, I think, has been fairly stable at around about a second. So it'll be interesting as the race develops. Just let's have a quick look. So Timorous is on the racing soft, and he's got between 1/2 and 3/4 of a tank left. If we go to select, he's got the racing softs on the way. Got a little bit less fuel, so that might come back to him at the end of to haunt him at the end of the race, because he needs another minute, and obviously there's a run-on time after the clock has expired for drivers to get back to the finishing line. So if anybody watched the Formula E yesterday, that extra lap can be extremely critical, and if I'm not going to spoil it for you, but watch the first race from Valencia. It all got very exciting at the end. So where are we at? Let's have a look. Third lap, we've got just on 8 minutes remaining, which is just over halfway. Kevin and Sturpan are out on their own, about 3.5 seconds clear of the field. I think they've actually pulled a gap and steadied it up a bit to make sure they've got field to the end. Oh, Select made a bit of a mistake there. It got all squirrely coming out of the Michelin curve there, but it didn't seem to cost him too much time. But he's still got a bit of a gap on Timorous. So we'll just move back, because I think there's a little bit of tighter action happening with Noodlester. Noodlester's eaten into that gap up to Swede Roger, and he's got it within 1/2 second now. So as we know, one of Noodlester's favourite places is that first tight right-hander. So if he gets a good run through the chicane, no, he's going to get it done already. Oh no, he turned too tight, and he's all over the place. He's got it off the track, bit too much throttle too early. These V8s don't want to grip on the grass, and he's dropped his way back down to ninth. Disaster. Oh no, he spun around again. You've got to be gentler on that throttle, Noodlester. It's designed for tarmac, not grass. You've got all that rubbish all over your tyres there. And Hulky's up. Hulky he can sniff the kill. Noodlester's trying to shake off that muck off his tyres. He lost 19, nearly 20 seconds with that detour onto the grass, whereas Hulky can sniff a position here. So we're interested to see how long. Oh, Noodlester, he's all getting a bit scrappy around that first corner. Great lump taken out of that first corner. So let's see where they are on fuel and so on. So it's just under halfway, half fuel. Oh, Hulky, unfortunately, he's picked the penalty up there, so he'll have to shake that off. So His little opportunity may have run away from him there. But Hulkie, I can see one of the problem Hulkie's got is, have a look at his tyres there, bottom left-hand corner, those big red markers, particularly on his front tyres. As we noticed earlier, he really was suffering from the understeer and those front tyres. And he's on the Racing Super Soft, which has worn that much quicker. It gives you better grip, but doesn't last as long. But you would expect with a rear-wheel drive car that he would be using up the rear tyres first, but I think the understeer he's got in there, you can see he's got a lot more steering angle on that than what the car's actually given him. So I think that's part of his problem there. It'll be interesting to see whether he decides to pit or just hang in there to the end of the race, but I would imagine he's got absolutely no front grip there at all. So that's Scott McGill. So keep going, Scott, you never know what can happen. So we'll have a little look further up. Third and fourth still look quite close by looking around the screen. And Timorous is still keeping Sleck very honest, but there doesn't seem to be much changing in the gap. Let's just have a look to see where they are with fuel. Timorous has got just under half the tank, and Sleck's got a little bit less. They've both got the same tyres, and they've both effectively got the same wear. So, and we've got a couple of pit stops happening here. Let's just dive down and have a look. Cajun's gone for the pits, and so has Hulkie. He had those Racing Super Softs, which he chewed through the front set, and also Riley's gone for the pits, which surprised me. I wonder if that was a fuel issue and he was using a bit too much fuel, because the Racing Soft should have done him to the end of the race. But this does give us looking forward to the second race, which is coming up, funny enough, straight after the first one. There is going to be a 30-minute race rather than the 15 minutes we've got now, so all drivers will have to pit. So perhaps some of them will work a two-stop, perhaps some of them will go for a single stop. So that could shake the order up, and obviously we've got the fast cars starting at the back, so it'll be interesting to see what effect that has. So coming out of the pit, this... Just whiz back up to the front, see what's happening with Sturpan and Kevin, because they did look a little bit closer than what they had done. But no, I think they've still got that gap of about 1.5 seconds. But they're about 5.5, 6 seconds clear of the field. You can see the glimpse of Select in the background there. Quite the length of that straight from that right-hand curve down to the chicane. So let's just have a quick look back and see what's happening. Let's see what Noddy's mate is up to, because he, I think, was in a little bit of a battle earlier, and actually, interestingly, he's going for a pit stop, so I imagine he doesn't think he can get to the end, because he's down to just under a quarter of a tank with 3 minutes remaining, plus whatever they have to run after that final lap. So it'll be interesting to see how this shakes out and how he comes out with Noodlester, who is also coming into the pits. So all these guys further down are having to pit. They've got less under a quarter of a tank. So I'm surprised maybe they didn't look at a different strategy of maybe going in a little bit earlier and going for the Racing Super Softs, because by doing this, let's see, John Riley's coming out of the last corner. See where this shakes out. It looks like he is in behind Noddy's mate, but he has got past Noodlester in that, so he's up to 7th, where he was running 9th before. Obviously Noodlester had that little bit of an issue where he decided to cut the grass for the circuit and lost about 20 seconds. So let's just have a hop back from these guys, see who else is out there and what they've got on them. Cajun's gone for the Racing Super Soft, and so has R80, which I'm not surprised about at all. Noodlester, Racing Super Softs as well, and they're fresh because he's just got on them, and Racing Super Softs also for Hulkie. So all these guys at the back are pretty quick. So let's see where we've got a little bit of action. Let's go back up to that fairly static battle that has been since, I think, almost the first corner, which is Timoros chasing down Select, and it looks like Select has pulled a little bit of a gap, but looking at that field with 1 minute 28 to go, I think this is going to be the last lap just starting now. I'll just check that. So because as the Kevin and Sturban cross the finishing line, it's nearly a two-minute lap. So this is going to be the last lap. So these guys have got the field. I don't think we're going to see any more pit stops. And I think these two guys have fairly settled that battle. So let's just have a quick look further down. I think there's something happening around about 8th, 9th, because I think Noodlester, now he's got been in the pits, sorted his car out and is back out again. Looks like he's hunting down Cajun. So as the season goes on, these few odd points could be quite important. I'll just have a look and see where Noodlester is in the championship at the moment compared to Cajun. So Noodlester's 4th and Cajun's 8th. So as this mid-season midfield battle carries on during the season, I think these odd extra points are going to be really important. So let's see. So they're starting their last lap. I think that's Holkey coming out of the last corner. We'll just hop on with him. So the time's run out. So as Holkey finishes the lap, that'll be his race finished. Oh, understeer still in that Mustang. Really suffering in that one. He's scrubbing those front super softs out already. So that's Noodlester's race. He's completed the race. So we'll just pop up and join the leaders to see them cross the finishing line. So coming into the final chicane there is Kevin 77, as he's done in the previous 4 races. Out in front, led and won the race. So great result there for Kevin. And as the race, a bit wild there coming out of the last corner. As the race has gone on, has pulled out a gap on Sturpan with that Force India nice looking livery of 4.7 seconds. So we'll just see if there's any developments in the Select. Nice flash of lights there, Select. No, he's pulled out a gap on Timorous, who's done a bit of a wiggle in the background there. Don't spin it, can be embarrassing. Mick Schumacher found that out last week. So Sweet Roger, a little bit of a quiet race there. Had the odd battle early on, but crosses the line. Flash of lights there, Roger. Good to see you. So now the Jack Daniels livery Noddy's mate. He's coming in. Gone a little bit quiet for him as the race settled its way out. Across the finishing line. Bit of a wiggle. Waves to the pit crew. No flashy lights. And now R80's round, crossing the finishing line. Good result there for John. He was 9th early on, got it up to 7th. Well done there. Oh! And Noodlester did get by Cajun, and missed out, unfortunately, following everybody across the line. So Noodlester and Cajun 8th and 9th. So Noodlester did get that extra point. So we'll just have a quick tally up and work out the I know the top 2 positions, or the top position in the championship is still going to be Kevin, because he's won the previous 4 rounds and he's won this one as well. But we'll just bring the result up for you. So there we go. Kevin 77, Sturpan, Select, Timorous, Sweet Roger, Noddy's mate there in 6th, then R80, Noodlester, Cajun and Holkey 87. So great race there, guys. Roughly expected the first 2 to be who they are, but next grid is reversed from what you see on the screen now, and hopefully the Brits, who unfortunately appear to have brought up the rear in the last one, not that I'm being nationalistic at all, will be at the we'll start off at the front and hopefully can hang in there. So we'll see what happens in race 2. So don't go anywhere, that one is coming up really soon. Just to give you a little bit of information, while I think we're just still coming up with the numbers for the championship after the first round. So let me just bring them up. I've just had them sent through to me. So let's just have a quick look. So as I already predicted, Kevin 77 is first. He's on 125 points. Select 2099. He's on 103 in second. R80, that's John Riley, the organiser of this series, on 76 in third. Noodlester, those extra colour points all help, because he's kept himself in 4th ahead of Sturpan in 5th. So the top 5 I don't think have changed. And then next is Noddy's mate with 56 and Cajun 100 with 48. So it's Swede Roger in 6th, and who is, I think, jumped Noddy's mate after that result because Swede Roger is 1 point ahead of Noddy's mate, 57 plays 56. So all still to play for, particularly in that midfield from R80 in 3rd down to Cajun 100 in 9th, or possibly 8th. It's just 30 points. So race settings have been changed. So as I mentioned to you before, it's going to be a 30-minute race, reverse grid from the result of the race we've just seen. It should be happening, I would imagine, within the next, I think, probably 5 minutes should be the start. I will just bring up on screen to see where we are on spectating, see who's out and about. Is anybody out? No, it looks like everybody is sitting quietly in the pits. So while we're waiting to hear when the restart is going to happen, just a quick bit about this circuit. Everyone knows the Nurburgring because of the Nordschleife, and obviously earlier this year we sadly lost the queen of the Nordschleife, Sabine Schmidt. But this is obviously not the famous Nordschleife circuit that we're using at the moment. We're using the GP circuit, and this one was built in 1984 following the Nordschleife no longer being suitable for racing following or for Formula 1 racing following Niki Lauda's accident in '76. So this new track was opened in 1984. It was built over Nordschleife, funny enough, means Northern Loop. This track was actually built over what was called the Southern Loop, the Südschleife. It's like I say, the 1984 layout continued through to 2002, where what they call the Mercedes Arena Loop was added, which is, I feel, a little bit Mickey Mouse, that first section, which adds to the circuit length, but I don't think it really adds anything in the respect of ability to overtake this circuit, but it certainly adds for the length. Give you a little bit of an odd bit of information on this track while we're sat there behind R80. If you look across the track, you can see a roller coaster jammed between the grandstands on the far side. Now, that was built, and I haven't got the dates with me. There was a grand idea for this to be the world's fastest roller coaster, and this was back in the days when Michael Schumacher was very successful in Formula 1. So I think it was in the early noughties. And the idea was this was going to whiz you along the side of the track, and you could get the feeling of going along like a Formula 1 driver. Unfortunately, it hit many production issues, and I think it's only actually opened in its lifetime for about 4 days. And by the time they actually got it to work properly, the Abu Dhabi circuit had the world's fastest roller coaster, with, I believe, on the Ferrari World. And then they obviously, losing the title on that, the circuit went bust, so the enthusiasm for it was lost. So it's there as a bit of a relic of a bit of a previous folly. So Nurburgring, like a lot of racing circuits, has had its financial challenges in the past, but I think is now more settled, and obviously does see intermittent F1 races depending on how the situation is running, particularly at the moment with the COVID issues we've got, and also finances between themselves and Hockenheim. Hockenheim was an alternative circuit in Germany, always seems to give us a really cracking race. So let's just hop on with Holke, because he's given us a little bit of track action. I can remember teams like Jordan and Minardi's doing this in the past. When the circuit was quiet, they send their cars out, particularly if it was raining or something similar, just to make sure the camera's got a good view of their cars. So Holke's going out there, but he's parked at the end of the pit lane. Have to be careful of that. I wonder if you know that Lewis Hamilton got a penalty for doing that back in Russia last year by doing practice starts where he shouldn't do. So the rules aren't quite so tight on this. So they're just all hopping out onto track so they can get the race started. So the final has started, so hopefully we had a little bit of a glitch last week, so where the second grid ended up being the same as the first, so the reverse grid didn't really work. But looking at that, we have got it all working for us. Yep, that's it. Hulky in pole, Cajun 100 second, Noodles to third, R80 fourth, Noddy's mate fifth. So we'll make sure we've got all the right bits on, and we have. So Hulky, front of the grid, waiting for the green light to get him rolling. He's gone for the racing super softs this time, so I think he will end up a pit stop around about 15 minutes. So here we go, 3, 2, 1, and we're off. Foot to the floor action. Be interested to see how quick the Kevin and Sturban can get through to the front, because they're the fast guys at the back. We know they've got about 2.5, 3 seconds on the rest of the guys. So we'll move back a couple of spots, because I think it's going to get tight. R80 already coming under pressure there from Noddy's mate as we're going through the Mercedes section. A bit wiggly there from R80, trying to get the power down with these monster engine V8s. Oh, and who's got... Oh, Hulky spun around there. Unfortunately, he's lost the lead already. So R80 is still under pressure there from Noddy's mate, and behind him it looks like, I think, Swede Roger was looking to come up under attack from Timorous. So Hulky dropping to the back has meant that Sturban and Kevin have already moved up a spot. They seem to be playing the long game here and not particularly trying to rush through. So it all looks quite clean and tidy at the moment. Let's have a look down. Timorous on Swede Roger. Roles reversed now, obviously for Timorous and Select, whereas Timorous was chasing Select all the way around last time. It's the other way around this time. So they seem to be doing a bit of wiggling. Maybe they're still trying to get some heat in their tyres. So we'll keep an eye on this little battle here. Oh, Select, it looked like he's got a little bit defensive there. That's quite a surprise this early on, because he certainly had the pace, but he's got Sturban right behind him, so he's probably trying to hold him up as much as he can, knowing he's got pace. So they're all going line to stern into the chicane. Timorous having a little bit of a look up the inside there, but it was going to be a little bit late if he tried it from there. But he's trying into the last corner. Can he make this stick? Diving down the inside. Yep. He pushes Swede Roger wide, and Sturban's using the gap that Timorous kicked wide open there to slide through by Swede Roger as well. Hulky still looks like he's got grip issues on the background there. Oh, and looks like we had a move up the front there. Looks like Noddy's mate on Noodlester took a dive there. A lot of these guys at the front are trying to make a break for it before the faster guys have a chance to get through. So 2.5 minutes gone already. So let's have a look, see where we've got action at the moment. All over the place, I think, as we look backwards and forwards. Noodlester is trying to come back on Noddy's mate there. He's got a good run down the outside. He's coming out of that last corner, which gives him the inside for this one. So Noodlester's up into second, and he's down the inside straight away. Oh, they both run wide, and this is just falling into the hands of the faster guys, because they're all going to catch up a little bit quicker. Noddy's mate now taking an opportunity down. He's got the inside for the hairpin, but Noodlester closes it off. They go around the hairpins. Oh, touchy, no. Oh, all right, he's coming in. He's good to see they're all going to knock each other off in a minute. This is going to be like Skittles if they're not careful. So nice to see good tight battle at the front. Just don't tip each other off, guys. Sturban and Kevin are up to 5th and 6th already, so they're going to hunt down this pack of 4 guys. So they really need to work together to try and pull a bit of a gap, because otherwise those fast guys are going to be on them straight away. So Swede Roger's been swallowed up by the 3 Greek competitors. So it'll be interesting to see what happens once they get past here. It looks like at the back there, I think. Yeah, Kevin's already going. Oh, Kevin's got Sturban. That was an important move for him to get back the lead that he'd obviously or the lead of those two guys, which is obviously lost because of the reverse grid. So I don't know if Sturpan expected that one, but that was a good manoeuvre into the chicane there. So we'll jump back up the front because these guys are looking quite racy between them. So we're going down into that first right-hander. Looks like Noddy's mate's having a quick look. Oh, screw to the wheels and tyres there. Goes a bit deep, can't quite make it move. So Cajun was leading last time round, but down into third. R80 hanging on to this battle as well. And just watching in the background is Kevin and Sturpan. So let's see where we're at. Someone round at the first corner. I've got a funny feeling that could be Holkey. Does seem to have having massive grip issues with that Mustang back there. So it looks like Noodlester and Noddy's mate are actually pulling a little bit of a gap there on Cajun. They've got nearly a second on him, so they'll be hoping. So let's have a look. See, Kevin's right on the back there of R80. So we know he's got a lot more pace in open air than the two guys in front of him. But he's that's a brave move through that fast S. But he's on the wrong side for the next left-hander as they're coming up. No, he's got the move done around the outside. Sturpan trying to do a similar manoeuvre as well on R80 because he can see Kevin getting away. So I reckon we're going to see Sturpan down the inside at the forthcoming chicane. So Cajun is definitely backing these guys up at the moment. I think we'll see Kevin come through on Cajun. Oh, Sturpan looked like he was going to take a bit of a lunge there, but couldn't make it stick. So Noddy's mate and Noodlester have been caught by Cajun, which is quite surprising. I thought they were pulling a bit of a gap there, but he's pulled it back in. So this battle up the front is definitely getting quite feisty here. So let's have a look, see if there's going to be any major difference on the tyres. We'll just see him going into his first corner. This is where, oh, Noddy's mate! Oh, that one's going to end up with the stewards. That was a definite 6-ball corner pocket there for Noodlester. With a heavy shove there, and of course Kevin, you don't have to invite the Greek twice. He's straight in, picked up the pieces. Oh, but Noodlester coming back at him. He's not giving up on that one. Oh no, he's got a bit wide there, Noodlester, unfortunately. It looks like Noddy's mate's got a bit of a problem there. He's struggling to grip. 4 wide. They're not going to work, is it? And Kevin's back to third. Who would have thought that? We thought he was going to be back through and away, but he's taking a slightly cautious approach. These other two guys are really fighting hard between them. And R80's in the background there. He's hanging on to Kevin's coattails. Kevin goes for it down the inside into the hairpin. He's got the move done. Nice tight line there. R80's trying to follow him through. He can't quite do it, so he's had to slot back into the slipstream train. So Kevin 77, he's up to second place with Sturpan. He's still stuck down in 5th. So with 7.5 minutes gone, they've used about half their fuel, so that works on the basis of about a 15-minute pit stop. So here we go. Kevin is sticking his nose out, sticking his nose back in, trying to get by Noodlester. Here he goes. He's gone. Is he going wide? No, he's tucked back in. No, he's playing a long game here. Interesting. I thought he might have gone for an earlier manoeuvre on there. I reckon we're going to be looking at the first corner. Here we go, up around the last corner. Lots of tyre swirl going on. Kevin looks like he's got quite a good exit there. He's in the slipstream to see how this works. He's down the main straight. Oh, is that? And that looks like Sturpan sticking his nose out as well. And Noddy's mates take. Oh, he was looking at another go at Kevin there. I think he got the drawn down by the slipstream there. Oh, Kevin, that manoeuvre again, keeping tight on the curb round the Mercedes arena. He's got the move done. Now, assuming there's no great lunges coming back, I think that'll be Kevin off and over the horizon. Sturpan's currently stuck down in 4th. So, let's have a quick look to see what's happening further down. I just need to have a quick review of that. There's, I think, been a change further down. and Timorous has got up in the 5th, passing R80. So I think we're going to see Kevin away now. He's done his battle. It's taken him nearly 10 minutes, but he's through to the front of the field. Obviously, we've got so they are settling out a little bit now. Sturplan is the one that doesn't seem to be able to cut quite like the 9th field hot butter through the field. Okay, so let's have a look at Noddy's fuel. He's down to about a third of a tank. And look at Sturplan, he's got nearly half a tank. So these guys do, Sturplan and Kevin77 do seem to know how to go fast but frugal. So let's have a look. Sturplan's dropped back a bit there from Noddy's mate. I don't know what quite happened there because I thought he was up with him. So I don't know if he made a mistake there we didn't see. So unfortunately it looks like we've lost the driver as well. We've lost Holkey, who was definitely having grip issues there. Seemed to be having the car spin round on him a couple of times. So I think he's decided to call it at night, which is sad to see, but hopefully we'll see him again next week. Next week we'll be at the home of the V8s. We will be at Bathurst. So we'll be up and down the mountain. So that should produce some really great racing because it's a circuit that really does, yeah, it's so unforgiving, particularly over the top with the walls right next to the track. One mistake and you're either a damaged car or you're facing the other way. So it'll be interesting to see how the race shakes out next time. If you want to look, okay, so anything in the next 3 or 4 minutes, I think we're going to be setting the start of pit stops. They'll be carrying enough fuel to go roughly about halfway through the race, unless you're Kevin or Sturplan, because they do seem to be able to stretch that out. The majority of them seem to be using the racing soft as well, so which has certainly got plenty of wear in it to get them to half distance. So I'm just looking down to see if there's anybody on a different strategy, and I can't see that there is anyone. They all seem to be using the racing soft, which is, I would suggest, the best choice for this length of race. You could go with the racing soft, racing super soft, sorry, you'd have more grip. Oh, let's have a look, see what's happening up there. You'd have more grip, but the tyres would wear out that much quicker. So, let's have a look at this mid-race battle. Timorous has got by R80, we mentioned earlier, but he doesn't seem to be able to pull away, and Select, as we know, is on a similar pace to Timorous last race. So these guys up the front, sorry, for 5th, 6th and 7th, I think will be the tight race we've got at the moment. And, oh, hello, someone's broken rank, first of our pit stops. Noodlester's in, Noddy's mate's in. Now, with 18 minutes remaining, I'm not sure how they will be going on. Oh, and R80's gone as well. Let's have a quick look, see where they were at on field. They were down to about a third of the tank left, so they should be able to make it to the end, because obviously another pit stop would be quite costly for them to go in all that time lost in the pit lane. So cars, yeah, so they've done, yeah, they may have to go for a splash and dash at the end because they've gone 13 minutes and they're obviously concerned whether they can make another lap. So I think we're going to see another pit stop from these guys. And it'll be interesting to see if they decide to change tyre strategy. No, R80 is stuck with the racing soft, but Noddy's mate's gone for the racing super soft, so I'd say he's definitely on for a 2-stop strategy. So it'll be interesting to see how that one works out. We'll shoot back up the field to, I think, 3rd, 4th and 5th. They are running reasonably close, but I think these guys will be pitting the end of this lap, so it's nearly another 2 minutes until we're at half distance, and obviously there's the run-on time after the end of the race. So looks like a quarter of a tank left with Timorous. They should have enough to get to half distance and make and only have to do the one stop. Let's see how the front guys are getting on. Yeah, fast and frugal, that's what they are. Kevin77 and Sturplan, they're third of a tank, so they won't need to worry about pitting for a while, and the tyres aren't overly worn, so they may well hang on and as long as they can, which will mean that they won't have such a long pit stop because the refueling won't take so long because they don't need to take so much fuel on board. So no one going for the pits this lap. We definitely seem to have two split strategies. So I think those guys that have gone for the pits already, I think we're going to find that they're going to go for two-stop strategy, because I don't think they can make it to the end with the fuel they've now taken on board, unless they turn their fuel mapping down to string that fuel out for a bit longer. So, well, just while we've got a quiet spot, sorry, I'm just having a quick look at something here. So the one that's going to take the hit here, just having a quick look there down how the championship shakes out at the moment, is Select, because he's running second at the moment, but he's obviously down in fourth. So once all these pit stops shakes out, we'll get a better idea of where he is. But obviously he was having to work from the back of the field as well. He's up nearly where he was in the previous race, but obviously the likes of Sturplan, who missed the first round, or first race 1 and 2, is rapidly catching up with these good results. Solid seconds last time out, and also a second obviously in the first race tonight. So the tyres on those front two guys do seem to be getting to the point where they need to be thinking about changing them. So I think we're going to see pit stops for the one stoppers this time. Yep, there we go. In goes Sturpan. I would imagine Kevin has been able to wring another lap out of it. He really does know how to wring that fuel out, doesn't he? So Sturpan's gone in. Let's see, has Timorous gone in? Yeah, Timorous is in the pits as well, and I imagine Select's going to go as well. Yes. So these are, I think, the one stoppers, because we've only got just under 14 minutes remaining. So they can easily take on enough fuel to get them to the end of the race. And the winner in all of this is Swede Roger at the moment. But he's been able to wring the fuel out that bit longer. But what will be important is he's probably going to have to pit next lap. How much time is that going to save him in refueling? And will that give him the undercut on some of the other guys? So it'll be interesting to see how that one shakes out. So Select and Timorous are all still in the pits. No, they're clear. So we're going to start getting an idea. Let's shoot back down the field a little bit, see how tight this is all shaking out. So the loser by the look of that through the pit stops has been Select, because he's dropped back down to 8th. So that strategy hasn't worked for him at the moment. Oh, Timorous, careful. That's getting a little bit... Oh, he's taking a bit too much curb there. No, he didn't get a penalty to shake up. So, Select, yeah, unfortunately. Oh, I was right. Timorous did get a penalty. I do know what I'm talking about occasionally. So, here we go. Let's have a quick review. 12.5 minutes remaining. We've got two little... Oh, Select's... sorry, Timorous is having to dump that penalty that he just picked up from cutting course through the chicane at the end of the Mercedes arena. So Timorous has got back in, has ended up, sorry, Timorous has picked up the penalty there from the chicane cutting. I'll get the words out in a minute. And so Select is back in front of him, so that's helping him a little bit, but I think we're going to see at least the guys in 4th, 5th and 6th. Noddy's mate Noodlester and R80. Oh, Sturbands by Noddy's mate. So Swede Roger's gone for the pits. Noodles is all looking a bit loose there. Oh, Noddy's mate on Sturban. It's all getting a bit tight round there. Noddy's mate can smell a good result here. He's looking for the podium. No, he's dropped back again. Doesn't look like Sturpan. Oh, there's a bit of a heavy hit there, and another rear bumper bites the dust. So in round the Mercedes arena, luckily nobody really lost any time there, but that was a little bit rude there by Noddy's mate. He's having another look, he's down the inside there. That was a bit hip and shoulders, but Sturplan's got the inside for the next corner. He looked like he was a bit across the curbs there, might pick up a penalty for that one. Noodle's still running wide in the background. No, it's not showing the penalty. Noddy's mate having another look. He's all over the back of Sturplan. This is a bit of a turn up for the books. We didn't expect to see this. We thought Sturplan and Kevin would be off in the distance. The only thing I worry about this, I think Noddy's mate is going to have to pit again. So he's got, so he is just on half a tank, Noddy's mate. So he might make it to the end. And our leader eventually, after nearly 20 minutes, has reluctantly decided to go for the pits. So he still had 7 litres left, but he's going to have the advantage of a quick pit stop there, and we're running with second and third, and we are only about 2/3 of the way around the track, so he's going to be easily out of the pits and away down the road before we get across the line. So Noddy's mate, he was on the Racing Super Soft, and he's now, I think maybe he's had the best out of those tyres, because he's now starting to drop away from Sturplan in second, because Sturplan's running the Racing Soft and they're that bit more durable. So it may be a case that Noddy's mate's taken the best out of those tyres. So just so Kevin's been in and out of the pits. He's just completed the loop at the Mercedes arena, so he's got quite a significant lead there on Sturplan, who's probably been slowed down a bit with his battle with Noddy's mate, but now he's got clear. So we'll keep an eye on the battles further down. Select and Timorous, who are going around as a happy couple yet again, as they were in the first race, but that time it was for third and fourth. So R80 there in sixth, being closely followed by Noodlester, and Sweet Roger up there in 8th. So these guys aren't too far from each other. They don't look like they're exactly going to have an imminent battle. Possibly the only one I can see is with Timorous and Select, because it looks like Timorous has got a bit more pace than Select this time. They've both got similar feel. I think they're both on for making it to the end. But Timorous looks like he is a little bit quicker this time, because he does seem to be giving a little bit of a close shadowing to Select there. So I think this is where we're going to see a bit of battle developing. Looking backwards, I don't see anything else developing at the moment. It's where one side, then the other, down the inside, into the left-hander. Oh, there's a bit of rubbing there. Can't see where Select's gone. No, he's still there, kicking up some dirt in the face of Timorous. But I think Timorous has got a better exit there. Select's going to the left-hand side of the track, trying to defend his line up to the chicane. And this is all bringing R80. Oh, Timorous is going for a dive. No, can't make it stick. And he's lost time there. Went deep on the brakes and lost a lot of speed through there. Has now dropped a second back from Select, and R80 can spot a 5th position in front of him. So very interesting to see how this yo-yos. And Swede Rogers lurking there in the background to pick the bits up as well if any of these guys have a problem up front. So it's still all pretty close. So another lap. So let's just have a look, see where the gap is up the front. So before the pit stops, just looking back at our earlier lap numbers, Kevin was about 7 seconds ahead of Sturplan. With that battle that Sturplan's had with Noddy's mate, and with Kevin pitting later because he's Mr. Frugal, he's now 20 seconds up the road. So he is literally in a different race to everybody else. So this is going to be, yeah, I think we'll be getting close to the point where Kevin won't need to attend the last round because he'll sound up the championship. But luckily, the way the scores of this championship run is points down to 14th place. and there's usually only 2, at most 3 points difference between each position. So it makes for a championship that stays tight right to the end, and people must stay in the championship to be able to win it. So, but this is going to be a clean sweep of 6 wins for Kevin. So let's just shoot back to these battles in the midfield to see where things are working up. Oh, we turn back to the right point. Unfortunately, Slex picked the penalty up, so that pendulum swung the other way now, and Timorous has got back in front. Noddy's mate's 10 seconds up the road from him, so I don't see that he's going to bridge that gap in probably the remaining 5.5 minutes, which is probably about 3 laps. So I think that's probably as far as he gets. Oh, just as I speak, Noddy's mate's gone for the pits. So this is the 2 stoppers. So the other guys we thought would be 2 stopping were R80. So who may have turned his fuel down, because he's still got nearly a third of a tank with 5 minutes remaining, and I think that might just get him there. So he may well have turned his fuel down. Let's have a. I was looking for Cajun 100. He's in 8th, and he has got a good third of a tank in that car, so that should get him to the end. So I don't think that strategy for Noodles to going for the 2 stoppers worked for him. I think Noddy's mate might have been a note. Noddy's mate looks like he's pitted as well, because he's got a fairly full tank. R80, don't know, that's tight. I think he's tight on the field. We could see him go for a splash and dash at the end, so that'll bring Noddy's mate back up into it. So let's just go back up to the Timorous battle, which is, I think, the closest one we've got on the field, as they whiz their way back up the hill. Oh, actually, if we move back, Sweet Roger and R80 are not too far apart either. So just keep an eye. So Sweet Roger's got nearly half a tank, so that's more than enough to get him to the end. And R80, it's going to be tight. It's another 2 laps. He might just have enough in there to do it. So be interesting to see how that shakes out. Oh, let's have a quick look up front. I can see dirt and dust. Timorous and Select are at it again. Timorous using all the curb on the entry to the last corner. Looks like a bit of understeer in that car as well. It did seem like it was scuffing those fronts out. He was given a lot more steering angle than the car was actually giving him to get around the corner. So down to 0.4 of a second between these 2 guys. I think this, and Slick looks to go for it, can't make it stick. So needs to, oh, look at that. Look at all that steering angle on that front left tyre, and the car's just not responding. Oh, unfortunately Slick's picked up another penalty, which he's going to have to serve. So I think that possibly is going to put a little bit of an end to this battle. And R80, as I suspected, has had to go to the pits. So that's dropped him, unfortunately, I think, to the back of the field. So we've got 9 cars out. Let me just have a quick look who's down in 9th. Oh, no, so not quite the back of the field. He's still come out in front of Noodlester. Oh, just like Noodlester, big spin there into the tyres. Well, if that was a real car, it's absolutely destroyed. So he's quickly done a quick spin turn and got it going again. So unfortunately, that looks like, unfortunately, I think Noodlester's not going to come out of this with a big bag full of points, I'm afraid. So let's just move back up to that battle with Swede Roger, who is now, interestingly, catching Select and Timorous. So at the end of this lap, some of these guys may get caught out, because I think Kevin crossed the line with enough time to do another lap after this one. So we'll jump back to Kevin as he completes the lap, because I think he is going to end up, I'm just whirring it through my head, because I think he might end up crossing the line. So someone is, looks like someone is in the pits there. I think that might be Noodlesters. He was on the mediums while I look at it. He's gone for the racing soft, a little bit of fuel to get to the end. Oh! Comes back out right in the lap cars, with the cars that are lapping him there. Getting the blue flags to move out of the way and let these guys through. So, well done there, Nurburgring, because these guys are in a bit of a... Oh! No, I thought that was Sweet Roger making the move. It isn't. Just sliding down the inside of Nurburgring, who he was lapping. So we'll keep an eye on where Kevin is, because that's critical to whether some of these guys are going to make it to the end, I think. Because I think they may get caught out. And I mentioned it before, watch the Formula E from Valencia that was on yesterday, race 1. It's all about that extra lap at the end. It can make so much difference. So pick that up on iPlayer or whatever you use to watch it. It's worth a catch-up. And it's also available on YouTube, I've just been told. Oh, Nurburgring looks like he's had another big moment there. I think he's blown the fuse in his traction control by the look of it. So unfortunately he's down in 9th, so it's not really going to make any difference to his position. So let's have a quick look. Was that Kevin finishing the lap there? Yeah, so Kevin has crossed the line with just a few seconds remaining. So what that means is everybody behind him will actually finish, I believe. Actually, oh, Select getting a bit loose there out of the final chicane. So the race doesn't actually end when the winner crosses the line and then all the others follow behind him. Because the time has run out, these guys, I think he's effectively going to win the whole race by a lap, which in a 30-minute race is quite incredible. So these 4 guys have crossed the line. Noddy's mate crossing the line there, well done, goes over the flank his pit crew. So Cajun 100 just coming around the final corner, crosses the line, looks like he's going a bit slowly there. Looks like R80 overtook. Oh look, is he out of fuel? R80 was out of, Cajun 100 was out of fuel as he crossed the line, so Noddy's mate was 6th anyway, R80 was 7th, and Cajun 100 was 8th, so Nurburgring still 9th, so all that swapped there was 7th and 8th. So we'll just drop back to Kevin to see him cross the finishing line. As I say, I think he effectively has won this by an entire lap, which is incredible. Because he's done one more lap compared to everybody else. Oh, and he nearly bins it on the last corner. I think he's just showboating there. Nice flash of the lights, takes a checkered flag. Yep, there we go, look at that. A lap on everybody. I think he got that plan up his sleeve, which is why he decided to try and cross the line with a little bit of time left. So we'll just have a quick look to see where we are on the championship for the provisional results. So let's have a quick look. So with no surprise at all, Kevin 77 in the lead with a perfect score of 150. Select is still 2nd, but jumping up into 3rd is Sturplan, who was 5th, and he's got 92 points. He's just skipped over R80, who was 3rd, now 4th. He's got 88 points. Nurburgring is in 5th place with 80 points. 6th is Swede Roger, he's got 73, and 7th Noddy's mate with 70 points. Cajun 100 in 8th with 58, and finally of the runners at the front there, 9th was Timorous. It's his first run out tonight, he's in 9th with 38 points. So that midfield battle from R80 down to Cajun 100, I think it's going to be really tight. There's 30 points between them, but we've still got 2 rounds to go. Next week we're at Bathurst, and then the following week we're at Barcelona for the final rounds 9 and 10. Click the subscribe button below, that'll get you a reminder of when we're online. Sunday nights 9 o'clock for the V8. We've got a Group 4 series coming up on Wednesday night, so if you subscribe, I'll be commentating on that as well. So click the like and subscribe buttons, so give us a bit of a boost. If you want to get involved in the racing, come and look for us on Facebook, Flat Out E-Racing. We will find you for the group. Join that and get involved in the chat, and then you can join in and be on the track, and I'll be there talking about you. So if I don't catch you before, I'll catch you next Sunday with a V8 again. So have a cracking week, guys. Keep safe, look after yourselves, and we'll see you all again soon.